summarizing questions for unit FM activity 4. So for number 1, I put in this activity we see that friction is a force that causes an object's motion to slow down. An example of this is the block sliding across the wooden table and then not traveling as far when sliding across the sandpaper. The sandpaper adds friction against the block, causing it to slow down. For number 3, I put, it's basically the same answer, but I put the block, no matter what surface it is on, will slow down because once the force loses contact with the object, it won't be increasing in speed. After the initial launch, the block will slow down. The sandpaper causes more friction against the block, which is why it slows down more rapidly when sliding across the sandpaper than the bare table. And for the 5th question, I put my answer to this is I first answered like the first little paragraph. So this little paragraph I answered first, and I put, if an object started moving and then had absolutely no force acting on it, it would come to a stop. So that's basically like my basic reasoning. And then to answer the spacecraft part, I put the spacecraft would initially take off once it is originally fired, but after the 2 seconds, it would eventually come to a stop. The initial force would have it take off, but once the spacecraft is shut off, it will start to slow down and come to a stop. Once the force loses contact with the object, there is nothing causing it to move. That is why the spacecraft will stop. And those are my answers.